Attorney Gaines attended the University of Miami School of Law. Mr. Gaines acquired his experience in real estate litigation by assisting with landlord-tenant disputes and foreclosure defense. Foreclosure is a legal process where a creditor, such as a lender or condo association, files a lawsuit to obtain judgment authorizing it to place your property up for sale at a public auction. At the Gaines Law Firm, you will have a one-on-one consultation to discuss different options, including loan modifications, refinance, and whether bankruptcy is recommended. Once you receive notice about the lawsuit, most people typically have 20 days to respond to the suit. If you file a response contesting the foreclosure action, it may take years before a judge rules or whether to grant foreclosure. Most people don't know that there are many options available to them when faced with foreclosure. Attorney Gaines, a real estate attorney, is equipped to prepare and review documents relating to real estate, such as purchase agreements, mortgage documents, title documents, and transfer documents in most cases. Don't try to take the big banks on alone. Contact Attorney Tayson Gaines at 561-543-9226. That's 561-543-9226.
We are back, now with more of the Ask the Experts radio show, proudly sponsored by board-certified family law attorney Tina Lewert of Lewert Law LLC, covering South Florida.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. We're with you every Thursday night for the last 7 years from 6 to 7 during drive time. Could not have gotten a better time for this show. We bring you all the top experts in South Florida in the areas of health, legal, financial, and home improvement. And this next show, I promise you, my guest, my expert, we're going to try to not make this a downer show, even though it's going to be on foreclosures. We're also going to talk some real estate law, but we have one of the finest real estate attorneys in Florida. Let me introduce you. Our guest, attorney Tayson. Tayson, bro, you know what? You don't look like an attorney. You look like you should be in GQ.
I appreciate trying to look more like an attorney every day. Still trying to.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I've got to tell everybody this. Tayson and I worked on putting this show together for about a month, and I got to tell you, this is the gentleman that I want to represent me, no matter what area of law it is. He is so precise. He is so knowledgeable. And I got to tell you, of all the shows we've done over the last 7 years, this is an attorney I would want representing me, whether it's in foreclosure or other real estate matters. And I'm not kissing you know what. Did you get that?
I didn't get a question. I heard you say you're not kissing anything, so that's good.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, first of all, Tayson, tell us about your firm and your background.
Sure. So my background, I started out in business, so considerable amount of time building small businesses. Had a lot of success there, but I always at heart wanted to be and was an attorney inside. And so I've been practicing here in my own firm going on 4 years now. And we focus on real estate matters. We do some personal injury. We do some civil rights discrimination. But our bread and butter, our base is real estate. And we try to cover the spectrum as far as real estate. So that's a little bit about me. I'm here in South Florida, locations in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach.
But you can handle cases anywhere because you do a lot of your business by Zoom now, like we're doing tonight.
That's correct. So I have cases all over the state. I actually have some big ones coming up in Polk County and Duval soon. all real estate based. And we're doing cases across the nation as well, even some international countries doing development and real estate deals outside of the U.S. So
why am I not surprised? Now, I got to ask you this because someone called after the show wanting to know if you also do commercial real estate representation.
I do. So I've done a lot of commercial real estate deals. I would say a significant portion of my business, especially the development side and the landlord-tenant side, is primarily commercial transactional litigation. So definitely.
Somebody was very impressed with you after our last show. I gave them your phone number and your email address. And sometimes I got to tell people, especially in business, that when we give you Tayson's phone number, you never know when you're going to need a good real estate attorney, whether you're business or residential. And that's why we have the show. We're going to talk about foreclosure tonight. First of all, what's going on in Florida? Are foreclosures up, down, or are they about the same?
Well, I think the up or down is relative to the time period you're comparing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so if we're comparing it to like anywhere from the 2010 to 2014 area, foreclosures are definitely down. I would say they're kind of in a pre-foreclosure phase. So I think a lot of the experts and a lot of the data points to that we will have increase in foreclosures here coming soon. But for the time being, there's not that many out there, with us being in this kind of quasi-moratorium environment and different programs being available. So not as many foreclosures are coming through as economics would traditionally, which is a good thing for homeowners, giving them some additional time to figure out what's best for them. However, the concern, right, whenever these moratorium and these forbearance programs cease to exist, or the banks stop offering them, where will homeowners' balances be, and what will their repayment terms look like when that happens? And so hopefully we don't have as much damage as we did in the 2008-2009 crisis. But there, statistics are showing that we likely will have an increase here soon.
Tayson, you know what? If I were sitting in my car right now and I've had some financial problems and I'm thinking about foreclosure, walk me through what should a person do?
Well, the first thing you want to do, it depends on where you are in the process, right? But if you have not been served with a foreclosure complaint, you haven't been served by a process server, right? Then that means you most likely are not in an active litigation. So meaning the process that's being put in place to try to take your home back for failure to pay, most likely, right? And so if you're in that position, what we call pre-foreclosure, maybe you missed some payments, maybe you're behind, maybe you're in a forbearance, but you have not been served. What you want to do is you want to consider all options. And that means go to your lender first, right? Whoever is holding your mortgage at this time, right? Whoever your mortgage servicer is, you want to contact those parties and ask them what programs they have available, right? Every program that's there, request the qualifications for those qualifications with things like credit scores or those are things that you could clean up in a matter of a couple months if the qualifications require, and put yourself in a better position to qualify for better programs. And so a lot of times you want to do those preliminary things to investigate what's available with your lender and what options may be available for you prior to foreclosure ever coming up. If you can get a modification, some kind of temporary forbearance, even sometimes a short sale, other times finding a new lender to qualify you and refi you, right? So just because your lender won't loan money to you doesn't mean that there are not other lenders that may not qualify you. So you want to investigate those before you get that foreclosure letter summons, because once you're served, the ball is rolling and you got to defend the legal case while at the same time trying to pursue alternative remedies and options. And so that could be very burdensome for a homeowner to try to do both at the same time. So it's better to get out in front of that and try to get knowledge about everything that's available before.
When would I bring you in? When would I bring you into the process?
So I've helped clients in the pre-foreclosure. I've helped. Generally, I can tell you my commercial clients and my what I consider to be my investor or business clientele that may have 3 or 4 properties, their primary home and some rental properties. They're the ones who usually contact me in a pre-foreclosure state, and they're just essentially trying to reshuffle assets and want to figure out what's the best way to do that with the least amount of impact. But traditionally, the average person will contact me honestly, and that's unfortunate. You know, a lot of times we hope that it'll work out or we'll come up with some new money, and even though we can see the writing on the wall, we hope that it doesn't come. And most
Exactly
will reach out once they're served. But hopefully, if they reach out when they are served within that 20-day window, options and a lot of help that you can still have access to. So just because you get served does not mean you're out of the fight. That's really just the beginning. So, you know, even if you're within that 20-day window, it's a great time to reach out to some attorney who works in this area, and they can definitely help you fit your situation.
You know, Tayson, I know you do a little bit of personal injury law and you are into some other areas, but your main business is real estate law, foreclosures. And I got to tell you, I see so many attorneys out there that show that they have 10 different areas of law that they practice in. If you have a real estate problem, whether it's, you know, even if it's just looking over contracts, or you have a foreclosure problem, this is why the law firm Tayson Gaines is so important, because this is mainly what they do. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So the vast majority of our cases are real estate, and probably about 90% of my practice is allocated to that. I have staff that supports the personal injury side, so I'm not as allocated as far as the time commitment there. Probably, like I said, 90% of my time is committed to this. I have trials upcoming in real estate litigation area. I have mediations, closing. So pretty much my entire day is consumed with something related to real estate.
Gotcha. Give everybody your phone number, Tayson. We're going to go our break.
Sure. So directly it's 561-543-9226. Again, that's 561-543-9226.
Okay, we're going to go to a break. We come back. I've got so many questions for you. Attorney Tayson Gaines, I think he should be in GQ, not as an attorney, but anyway, what do I know? I'm a host. We'll be right back with more Ask the Experts.
Attorney Tayson Gaines practices real estate litigation, including but not limited to foreclosure defense, partition actions, quiet title, short sales, loan modifications, insurance claims adjustments, title deeds, and real estate contract disputes. Attorney Gaines attended the University of Miami School of Law. Mr. Gaines acquired his experience in real estate litigation by assisting with landlord-tenant disputes and foreclosure defense. Foreclosure is a legal process where a creditor, such as a lender or condo association, files a lawsuit to obtain judgment authorizing it to place your property up for sale at a public auction. You will have as purchase agreements, mortgage documents, title documents, and transfer documents in most cases. Don't try to take the big banks on alone. Contact Attorney Tayson Gaines at 561-543-9226. That's 561-543-9226.
We are back now with more of the Ask the Experts radio show, proudly sponsored by board-certified family law attorney Tina Lewert of Lewert Law LLC, covering South Florida.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. We are in 7 markets now. We just opened up in Atlanta today. We're also in Tampa. We're in Dallas. We're in Houston, Austin, of course, here in South Florida, and Philadelphia. We have South Florida, actually, in this case, Florida, because I know Tayson, he doesn't just do South Florida. He handles all of Florida. Tonight is our real estate show, our foreclosure show. The name of the firm is the Gaines Firm. And we just got a text from somebody, and I was wondering, well, I didn't understand it at first, but I guess I could see. Somebody wanted to know if you do bankruptcy.
Yeah, so great question. So I don't do bankruptcy. I work with 2 great attorneys that do. We kind of work hand in hand on some of these cases. So typically what happens is we will exhaust all of the options in the foreclosure defense side of things. If we can't find a good option and bankruptcy is the only alternative, we'll refer them over to the bankruptcy attorney. Bankruptcy immediately stays, so essentially a legal term of art for stop all legal proceedings once it's filed. And so we can kind of wait until we get to that last stop and that last kind of Hail Mary throw. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll always have the option of going to bankruptcy, and people, obviously can restructure their debts and save their home. If, assuming it's their primary homestead.
So I'm going to ask you a few little short questions. What is a breach letter?
Sure. So a breach letter is essentially just a letter that by federal law, your lender has to send you to notify you that you have missed payments and that you're delinquent, technically in default. And it's essentially a precursor to your lender accelerating your loan, which is essentially a contractual provision that allows them to, after a certain amount of time, make your entire mortgage balance due. And so essentially, the breach letter is just one of the procedural protections that are put in place to make sure that homeowners are aware of the fact that they missed a payment. If it's a mistake, it's an opportunity for you to call your lender and investigate before it gets worse. So it's a good precautionary tool that's put in place.
How many payments do you miss before this breach letter goes out?
So the breach letter can go out after the first 36 days of failed payments. So essentially like slightly over 1 month of missed payments. However, the default and the acceleration letters and actually pursuing foreclosure generally does not happen until after 90 to 120 days of missed payments. But even with that, if you're 90, 120 days and delinquent payments, you're still going to have to catch up that balance in order to reinstate your loan. So obviously the objective is not to get too far behind, because regardless, you're going to have to reinstate at least the amount of payments that you missed in order to get your loan back on level playing field.
Hey, Tayson, tell me about all these people who have rental property that, they weren't allowed to collect from their renters up until just recently. Can you talk about that? What's going to happen to these people?
Sure. So I'm dealing with this, unfortunately, every day. I have a number of clients, as I said, that are investors, significant amount of wealth, and a lot of it has been accumulated through real estate. And so obviously, with the different circumstances that we have going on and the moratoriums being in place, there's a lot of instability, right? And so ultimately, a lot of tenants have not paid. What we've tried to do is help our clients facilitate with local government and state resources to get the actual rents paid for, even if the tenant cannot pay, get it from some government agency or some quasi-government or nonprofit agency that is funding these types of subsidies. And so the objective is to keep my clients out of foreclosure, out of forbearance programs, benefit them out of having to take harsh refi terms. And so the first line of defense for my clients is we'll try to facilitate and broker the deal to get the tenants to submit applications, complete the necessary paperwork, and comply with the requirements in order to secure funding that is then passed on to the landlords to compensate them for the rental incomes that they missed. And so we've had some success doing that. For the most part, we haven't had any horror stories from landlords, but again, it's still early. To be honest, no one, I don't think anyone can say honestly what for sure will happen as it relates to that.
Right.
I think if the rental resources are not sufficient, I think we'll start to see the landlord groups and the home ownership lobbies start to take some action and try to lobby for some subsidies to go directly to landlords for the increased expense of having to hold their mortgage notes and not have any rental incomes coming in.
But it just takes whenever time you get the government involved, it takes forever. That's the only problem. Do you do mortgages at all?
So I don't issue mortgages. We do title and closing services. I work hand in hand with a number of mortgage brokers. So that's another, affiliate business partner that we have, not business partner, but affiliates that we work with in our normal line of business. And so I'm always recommending multiple various different mortgage brokers and lenders to clients to try to fit their specific needs. But at this time, we don't do that within our operation.
But you do title work, though.
That's correct. So we actually just launched the title and closing side. So very happy about that. Excited to, add a new chapter to our business, to learn new things and to engage with more clients, right? So in litigation, sometimes we can get bogged down with 5 or 6 cases. So it's nice to have, 1 or 2 closings a day coming through, meeting different people and different investors and different people within the real estate community. So it's been very good for us, and we're excited about the future.
Maybe I hope I'm not getting this wrong. I know Palm Beach and Broward are different when it comes to title companies. Isn't one of the counties you could actually hire your own title company? Did I get that wrong?
So you mean as far as like a homeowner making a
Yes.
company? Yeah, so it really depends. Yeah, it depends on where you are. In certain jurisdictions, the rule of thumb is that the buyer will pick, or the buyer's agent will pick a title company, and other jurisdictions, as you said, the seller will pick. So it really just depends on where you are.
Where you are,
Either
okay.
be the sure.
What is a deficiency judgment?
Sure. So great question. A deficiency
And you don't want to
judgment
get there, do you?
No, yeah, no one wants to be there. That's not what you want to be in. A deficiency judgment, I'll just put it in simple terms, is I had a home when I bought it. It was worth $300,000. The market dropped. It's now worth $200,000, or I had some damage, and it's worth $200,000. But my loan is still for $300,000, right? When the bank goes to foreclose and you're done defending the case, if you hire someone good, that'll take longer. But eventually, if you can't win the case, and the bank or your lender eventually forecloses on the home, and takes either title to that home back or has it sold at auction, whichever one. Whenever that property is sold, if it's sold for $200,000, the deficiency judgment is what the lender can go after you for. That's the balance between what you owe and what the property sold for. So in my example, if you owe $300,000, it sells for $200,000. That $100,000 in between can be stuck as a judgment against your personal name. And so in certain circumstances, if you tried to sell other property, they could then attach that judgment to those sale proceeds and try to take that $100,000. At worst, it'll still be stuck to someone's personal credit if you own the home personally. And so it can be significantly devastating, obviously, to not just have a foreclosure on your record and a judgment on that foreclosure, but then to have a deficiency judgment on top of it where you have money that you owe outstanding. So even when you start having income come in, it's immediately going out. And so that's one of the things that if you're properly represented, even if it's
Right.
unfortunate and you lose your home, that's something that a good practitioner will make sure that they resolve and work out for you, so that if not eliminated completely, that debt is at least minimized down to something that's manageable for you. Because you don't want to be having to go out, find a new home, or try to rent or move in with family and be stuck with a big judgment from the balance.
Jason, give everybody your phone number.
Sure. Thank you again for having me. Tayson Gaines, my number is 561-543-9226. Again, 561-543-9226. Again, thanks for having me.
You're the easiest interview I have ever done. I will see you again next month on Ask the Experts, and we'll be back with you next week at 6 o'clock with the Ask the Experts show. Thanks, Tayson.
All right, thank you, brother. God bless you.
Thank you for tuning in today to Ask the Experts, sponsored by board-certified family law attorney Tina Lewert of Lewert Law, LLC. Join host Steve-O again next Thursday for more interviews with the top experts in South Florida in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement on Ask the Experts.